Raccoon Zanies, Sylvester's, the Comedy Showcase, Byfield's, just a lot of places to work. So then I brought my accordion and I said, "Hey pigs, let's party." Yeah, the world is going mental. You're getting kind of moody. It's time to listen to me, the goddess Judy. I'm the queen of love, the princess of romance. Shake it up, stud puppets. Party in your pants. Party in your pants. Party in your pants. Never have that ready. The sassy little dance. You can do it anywhere in any circumstance. Have yourself a big fat party in your pants. Woo! See, there's the accordion.
Wow.
Can't see everything on screen. I have to bring it.
Here, you can show it again, and we can see.
See?
There you go. I love that. So, how did the accordion come to be? Whose idea was that, and how did you learn to play it?
Well, you see, my accordion was my mom's IUD, but it didn't work very well because I popped out wearing it, and then I just, and then I had to keep playing it. So that's really what happened. I had to.
Wow.
Yeah, I had to. I had to play it because it was on me.
Wow. So how long did it take you to find your style as a comedian?
I don't know. I'm just a goddess. I popped out playing my squeeze box, and I'm a petite. Do you know my titles? I'm the petite flower giver goddess, fashion plate saint, earth mother hostess, geisha girl, buffer of foreheads, healer of hermaphrodites, blesser of bunions, queen of candy pants, and empress of Elvis impersonators. Oh, pretty much.
Wow, that's it?
So I have a lot of titles.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
Wow. Oh, that's phenomenal. So were you on any, you said that you had gone to college for, what was your major?
Well, first I majored in art. So let's see if I can show you something that I don't have it in this. I would have to take it off the wall. So I don't want to take anything off the wall. But I have paintings that I did. And then, I would get, painting and sculpture is very isolated, right? You have to be by yourself, unless you're Picasso. Picasso would have a whole audience with him while he would paint, but he was one of a kind, so he put on a whole show. But normally you're in your studio or whatever, your space alone, which, by the way, as a comedian, you also have to do that to make up your material. However, what I didn't like was I would paint something and it takes hours and days and sometimes even a month or whatever. And then somebody would go, "Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's really beautiful. Okay, thanks." Whereas, you really kind of need instant gratification. So I would say things, I would say, I just decided I would rather be doing my own act,
Wow.
and say things like, "Oh, I'm Judy the Love Goddess, and a petite flower, fashion plate saint, and oh yeah, I'm on this airplane and this pig is sitting next to me. You look like a squid in stretch pants," and stuff like that. So
wow. So how far into college were you when you came to that realization?
No, I had to. Well, I majored in theater and I graduated in theater, and I had a minor in acting. Okay,
gotcha.
And then no. I had a major in theater and a minor in art. And then I went to Europe with my friend, and then we decided, we're going to New York. So that's what happened. We went to New York. I would go to these auditions, and it was real, and it was just very disheartening because it's 500 people, and I go, this doesn't work for me. So I went back to Chicago, as I told you, and then they had all these comedy clubs, so I could do my show. And Tom Dreesen was the first one to bring me on stage. I don't know if you know who he is, but Tom Dreesen ran the comedy club in Chicago. And And that's what happened. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, that's
Yeah.
great.
Wow.
So,
Really? I know.
what was it like your first time on stage? Did it click for you and the audience, or was it like you had
Yes.
to work
Yes.
at it, or
Yes.
what was your?
No. Yes, I did very well, and that's why
Mm,
I didn't understand. Uh, the third time I went on, it was like I had a tough time, and then I found out by studying all the other comics like George Carlin and everybody has to bomb so they can learn from it, because not everybody bombs, even Eddie Murphy,
mhm.
when they're just learning. So
Sure.
it's part of it. So
So
you
did
just
you
have.
find that the more times that you performed on stage and the more that you grew as an act, that your persona on stage grew as well, or were you always the Judy Tenuta we know today?
Well, yes, I became. No, I was always. Yes, I became like this. Oh, I'm the love goddess. First I started. Oh, I'm the petite flower,
Mm-hmm.
and so then it grew and grew, and then it was also the love goddess, and I told you all my titles,
Mm-hmm.
so I had a lot of titles, and then of course I have the squeeze box, and
Do
I'm
you
the
say them all
Aphrodite.
on stage, or do you
I'm the
have one that you
Aphrodite of
choose?
what?
Do you say them all on stage, all of your titles, or do you have one
No,
that you?
well, yeah, sometimes, but
Yeah, okay.
here I'm the Aphrodite of the accordion, so there she is,
Mm-hmm.
and um, yeah, so but it's more exciting to talk about all the fun things that I got to do.
Sure.
One of my biggest gigs that I was very excited about, I got to open for Jay Leno
Oh
in
wow.
at the Punchline in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And he was really great with me, but it was really funny after the show. Tenuta, you're funny, but let's go shopping. Let's go. He goes, let's go to the down there. They had a store called Piggly Wiggly, and
Mm-hmm.
like, Tenuta, let's go to the Piggly Wiggly. So we went in there, and all he wanted to do, I started getting vegetables. What do you want with that sissy food? And he just got a big pizza, and we had pizza, but yeah, he was great, and he was the only guy. He was the only comedian I know that could eat something. Like, he would eat a bucket of chicken, and then he could go right on stage, and not have a problem. I can't eat just before I go on. I
Sure.
have to wait. I have to wait a little.
Yeah. Yeah.
But not
Totally.
him. Oh no, he was eating a bucket of chicken, as I say. And here's your host, Jay Leno, and he's like, there you go. Hey! Yeah. So it was pretty
Oh
great.
man. Wow. Well, we have a comment here from Heather Meadows. She says, "Where's your favorite place to perform?"
Oh, that's very tough, because there's many places. I love Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I've been all over Texas, and I loved Houston, Dallas, Corpus Christi, Austin, you name it. I loved it. I loved all. And then I love Atlanta. I love Chicago, my hometown.
Mm-hmm.
New York City, and of course now I'm living in LA with all the la la. Is that your real nose? Here's everybody's nose in LA. Hi. So I don't have one of those yet, but yeah. So it's just, and also I like to perform in Toronto. I opened for George Carlin there in Toronto. We did a show there, and it was freezing, and he made me wear some kind of buffalo cape so I could stay warm. And no, but that was great.
Yeah.
And but there's a lot. It just depends on the people. If the people are good, I mean, I love it in Florida too. I work all over Florida,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't even name all the cities: Jacksonville, West Palm Beach, Boca. Oh, have you been to Boca?
No, I have not.
Okay. Grab your Mercedes and your Gucci bag. We're doing the Boca Polka. Anyway, I made up a song for them. And yeah, just a lot of places there. Yeah, so Miami, all of them. It's really great to work there. Even Sarasota, I must not forget, where they
Mhm.
have the clown college and everything. Yeah, it was great. So I actually, what's great about doing comedy, and whether you're a comedian or a magician
Mhm.
or a ventriloquist, you get to travel the whole. That's how I saw the whole country. I think I performed in every state, which is kind of
Oh,
exciting.
neat. That's great.
Even North Dakota, South Dakota, Lincoln, Nebraska, you name it.
Wow.
Even Salt Lake City, Utah. Yes, all over.
That's phenomenal. We have a comment here from Sherry Brown Rosner. She says, "Do you have a ritual that you do before going on stage?"
Oh, thank you. These are really good questions. I'm used
They
to
are.
getting, hey, Jenny, like Rogan, hey, Tenuta, do you have any pizza I could borrow? Well, first of all, you can't borrow pizza. You either eat it or you don't. You don't borrow pizza because you have to eat it, and then how do you give it back, right?
Right.
So we're not doing that, okay? Don't do that. It's the same thing with Tenuta. Can I borrow? Yeah, none of this borrowing stuff. Anyway, wait, what was this one now?
Do you have a ritual that you do before going on
Yes.
stage?
This is a very brilliant. We have some very brilliant listeners. Yes, I actually do. I do a breathing. I do. And I can't do the well. I would have to take off my accordion, and I do this whole exercise. But you can't. I have to move this back. So
I'm here.
I do all that stuff. Yeah, and then I have to get mad. Believe it or not.
Really?
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know if you've been watching the series about Michael Jordan. The greatest basketball player that ever lived. But
Mhm.
it was kind of like whoever set him off that they better not do that because he's going to score. Anyway, I'm kind of like, oh, that pig. I'm like, I'm going to go out there and get these pigs. So
I love that.
I kind of have to be like that. But I'm also very excited about going out before I go out. I'm very excited. And so I do these things like I breathe and I go, oh, and yeah, and then I come out and pig and all that.
Wow. I love that. So do you have a favorite memory from a show?
Oh, yes. Well, I wasn't well known yet, but I was getting there.
Mhm.
So it was, in fact, I believe I already did Letterman, so I was known. And I came back to Chicago, and they had a naval base there, and I got called to do a show there for all the sailors. So I was very excited. So they were like it, and I forget what it was called. It was it's the naval base in Chicago, and I can't remember the name of it. I don't know. Anyway, and I was very excited about doing it. And I thought to myself, okay, what am I going to do? They said to me, Judy, the Admiral is going to be in the audience. And I thought, oh, good. But I'm there for the 1,000 sailors. That's who I care about. So I went out on the stage, and the first thing I always said was, hey, pigs, what do you say we discipline the Admiral? Oh, my God. They started screaming. I couldn't talk for a minute. They were screaming and clapping. Yeah, because, they're used to being slaves all day, right?
Right.
So I'm turning it around and making them, the kings. So, and needless to say, after the show, the Admiral didn't want to meet me, but all the sailors did. So that's okay.
Wow, that's great. Do you have so this is a fun story.
It was called the Navy Pier. Yeah, the Navy Pier Naval Base. Anyway, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, we have a comment from Peter Michael Hefty. He said, "Was it the Great Lakes Naval Base? Was that it?"
Yes. Is
Yeah.
that Pete Hefty?
Yes.
Hi, Pete. I know Pete. We did comedy many years ago when I started with him and Bob Rumba, and it was at the Magic Club. What was it? Oh, come on, they know. See, this is terrible. I can't remember the name of all the. But anyway,
That's
Pete
okay.
Hefty. Hi, Pete. And he's a great magician, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, do you have a? This is interesting. So you talked about your favorite type of favorite experiences is show in a few different places that you enjoy performing. Could you tell us a little about? It was, I believe, it was 1986, and it was you and Bob.
Oh yes, my good buddy Bob Rumba, who's like my brother,
Mm-hmm.
and we met at Ratzo's, which was a comedy club in Chicago in 1975 or something. Anyway, and so you were still a thought. You were just a thought. But anyway.
Yeah, I don't even know if I was that.
Yeah. So anyway, this was a great time for anybody to do their own act. So I met Bob there. And then we would always go to the clubs together. We would go to all, the Comedy Showcase, Zanies, you name it. Anyway, well then, in 1986, I do believe I had just done Letterman, and I got called. I made up a video that I wanted to film, so I came to New York to film it. And a friend of mine, Rick, was working, and he said, "Judy, I have a very special thing, and it is Mick Jagger's birthday party at the Palladium in New York." And I said, "Oh my God, you mean I could?" Yeah, he goes, "But you have to act like you belong there. So you can't, you got to act really cool, and all that." Well, okay. So I bring Bob, hello, like, how can you be undercover with Bob? So we go there. And first of all, at that time, they had all this food, and Bob and I were starving, because we didn't have any money at that time. And we were starving. All this food is out, and nobody was eating it because they're all, doing this. Anyway, nobody was eating. So the first thing Bob and I do is we go and get all the food.
Like Scooby and Shaggy piling up your plates,
Yeah, we kind of stood out. And then it's Mick Jagger, and they said, "Whatever you do, don't get too excited if you see Mick Jagger, but probably he won't be there." Well, sure enough, we're sitting in these big, giant Gothic pews, and Bob says, "Judy, turn around, look," and it was Mick Jagger with at the time his wife was Jerry Hall, so and everything. Anyway, so oh my God, it was so exciting, and we had to try not to be too excited. And then we met Hall and Oates, and they were fantastic. But the best part was we met Jack Nicholson, and he's like, these two teenage girls are hanging on him. They were like 17, and I think we tried to say hi to him, but he didn't really pay attention to us until Bob made a balloon hat and put it on his and Jack Nicholson said, "What are you doing here? What are you doing to me?" And then he took it off, and I think he was kind of cool about it. But it was so exciting. And I believe on the way out, we went downstairs, and I'm not kidding, I saw Cher, and I couldn't even talk. Cher!
Wow.
Cher's downstairs.
What a party. Yeah.
I know. So it's like very exciting. Yeah.
Wow.
And we were the only ones that ate at the party because they were all,
Yeah.
Anyway, it was the best party you could ever imagine. Yeah, it was great.
Wow.
And Bob is a ventriloquist, so he said, "Hey, why don't you get John Arvidas to make it?" So I always needed a personal assistant and someone to help me with my clothes. So here's Brandon. This is This is Brandon Savage. Brandon, here's Brandon. Oh, whoa, hi. Hi. Hi there. How are you, Landon?
Doing fine. How are you, Brandon?
I'm just fabulous. Oh, I love going through Judy's closet. Yeah, you're always in the closet. Yeah, no, yeah, Brandon, what have you done with your hair? Oh, well, I had a late date. Oh, all right. So anyway, Brandon was my first. Oh, he's, as you can see, I don't know what he's got. Maybe he's got the virus. You see how his eyes are going? Oh, 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 yeah. So anyway.
Also, he was built. So tell us the story. So you did sketches with him, and you brought him to clubs and would do things with him here and there, and he was your hairstylist. Is that right?
Yes, but he would also help me with my gums. Oh, yes, I love your gums. Yeah, he would, help me with that. And
wow.
Yeah, so, I know. And
so what happened to his body?
Oh yeah, I had to give his body away because, a body is just a mortal coil. Yes, that's right, Brandon. It's just a mortal coil. So all you really need is your brain, right? Yes. Oh. Yes. And so he was, yeah. So he was just fine with that. Yeah. Anyway, Brandon, do you have to go and do something? Yes, I've got to put gel in my hair. Okay, so we're gonna let Brandon go now, right?
Yeah. Thank you for being a part of this, Brandon.
Do you have any other questions for him?
Let's see if we can see.
Oh,
yeah, there we go.
Brandon, who did I give your body to? Oh, you gave it to some guy. Yeah, I gave it to another ventriloquist who needed a body.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't need it. It's okay. I just need my gel and, of course, my sequin jacket. Yeah, that's right. Okay, Brandon, you're gonna go now, right? Yeah, I'm going. Oh, bye, Landon.
Bye, Brandon. Oh, Bob Rumba said, "Did you give it to Taylor Mason?"
That's who I gave. I gave the bodies to Taylor Mason.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what happened.
So could you talk a little bit about the design of him? Because he's a very unique and custom-looking character. Can you talk about how he was created?
Yeah. Well, first I drew his picture. I was an artist, so I could draw. And I drew his picture and I gave it to John Arvidas, who created him in Chicago, my hometown. And then he made him look just like him, right? Brandon, what's going on? Oh, I'm back. Oh yeah. He has to go.
Typical Brandon, always starving for attention.
Yes, I love it.
It's hilarious. So I'm curious, did you have a hairstylist, or have you seen people that inspired you to have that created?
To have Brandon?
Mm-hmm. Or was he just an idea? Like did you base him off of someone, or did you just think?
I live in Chicago. I lived across from this gay bar, and I would see gay guys going in and out, and I would go to do shows, and they would all be outside of my condo apartment, and they would be having lovers quarrels, and all I would keep hearing was that kind of voice.
Yeah.
And I, and I just drew him as I pictured him in my head.
Wow. He's great.
John made him.
Yeah, John Arvidas. Wow. That's phenomenal. So could you talk, I want to transition here to your accomplishments. Could you talk about you won the Best Female Comedian of the Year award?
Yes, it was an award at the American Comedy Awards, and I was the very first one, which means once you win, you cannot be, it's not like the Emmys. You can't be renominated. So then I'm out of the pool. But I was the first one. And you know what that means? I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm the best, the best, the best, the best. So that's what happened. And so that was very exciting. And you saw George Carlin give me the award. That's what I won.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that
Yeah,
was
we played that in the intro clip.
I
Yeah,
love George Carlin. I got to open for him in the summer of 1987, and we had so much fun together because he loved to do voices, and so did I.
Mm-hmm.
So his manager would yell at us in the back of the limo when we were on the way to the concert, and and George kind of, hey, Dan, and I go, and then I'd be some other voice, and be like, I don't like this. I don't like, whatever I would do. And,
sure.
Or I would talk like there was this person from Chicago called Ann Landers. I would call her Ann Slanders. Ann Slanders. And so I would, we would do these voices. We just had fun doing it. Mm-hmm. And so it was just really great. We had a lot of fun.
Wow, that's phenomenal. What was that experience like, winning Female Comic? Winning that award?
Well, a lot of things were happening at the same time. Okay. So it was it was probably the most exciting time in my career because not only did I win that, but more importantly, I got a series of Diet Dr. Pepper commercials. So I got to be the spokes goddess for Diet Dr. Pepper, where I said things like, yeah, you can't, I'd be in a gym working out and I'd say, and then I would be like, I'd put my arms down and the machine would still be going. And I'd say, yeah, you can't get a body like mine in a bottle unless you push real hard. And I'm pushing on a bottle of Diet Dr. Pepper. So, they were beautifully produced. They were like little mini movies. So I got to give kudos to the guys who produced those.
Was there a writing team there, or did you have a say in?
I worked with them, and actually Emo Phillips helped somewhat with that, and so it was those were like what's funny about that? It's so you don't really realize you just do these things, and then all of a sudden they're on TV, and the next day a whole bunch of people know you, and I was just like, what the hell's going on, and they're like, yeah, and they would come up to me like, yeah, you can't get a body like mine in a bottle. And I did 4 different ones, and they were all great, and I just love them. So I'm very grateful for those, and I want to give thanks to my manager at the time, Winston Simone, and they were just great.
Well, you were also on HBO's Women of the Night. Can you talk a little bit about that?
At the same time.
Okay, great. Look at that.
Yeah, I did. I want to think which thing came first. Oh, yes, I know. First, I did Women of the Night in 1987, July of 1987 in LA. And it was so funny because I was more of a Chicago, New York person. And my manager said, we're flying to LA. I go, no, I got. And then you get there and, it's kind of great because, it's always 75 or 80 degrees. Yeah. And unless you get an earthquake, then, well, whatever. But it's just great. And I filmed it great. I had so much fun with all of the, Ellen, you might have heard of her, Ellen DeGeneres, Rita Rudner and Paul Poundstone. It was just great. And I'm very grateful for that. That was so fantastic. And I got the best review, and George Carlin, the next day, it aired after we filmed it. You see, they film it first and then they edit it. And then I was opening for George that July, and they aired it, and it was on national TV. And George said, "Oh my God, did you see the review you got in the New York Times?" And he read it to me. Here's George Carlin, and I was just like, "Oh my God, I can't."
What a memory! Yeah.
The king of comedy is talking to me, but I go, hello, shouldn't this be the other way around? Anyway, so he was really great, and it was really exciting. Yeah, that was just fantastic.
Wow.
And phenomenal. I got a week's supply of Diet Dr. Pepper. No, I got more. No, I got more than that. I got a whole bunch. But those were just fantastic.
Yeah. Well, now, What I've heard about you, Judy, is during your show and from time to time, you get possessed.
I do. I
Yes.
do get possessed. You never know who's like, oh, wait, who's coming in? Who's coming in now? Oh, hello. I am Malaria Trump, your first lady. And of course, you know, I'm very excited. I was given a trophy. Where is my trophy? Oh, it's probably in the other room with my son, Baron. And I got a trophy for women of extinction. So I was very excited for that. And I want to wish Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Yeah, okay. Bye-bye. Okay, so she's gone. And then
Have you ever been possessed by Chris Rock?
oh my God.